Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 17 Pro and compare it against the iPhone 11 Pro Max and see how both these iPhones pretty much compare. Now, the big thing I can definitely tell you for the most part is that for my iPhone 17 Pro and my iPhone 11 Pro Max, these are very, very good iPhones. They're both going to be giving you a lot of capability, lots of really cool stuff for the most part. But the big thing to remember here is that between both, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is significantly older. So you're definitely going to be getting a much older type of device from that type of phone than something like an iPhone 17 Pro. So if you're going to go through and pick up a device, I definitely do think the iPhone 17 Pro, it's a way better device in almost every single way. But the iPhone 11 Pro Max is also decent still. It's still supported with software. And there's a lot of phones in between that I would also still recommend buying. So if you want to pick up either one of those particular devices, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular devices. The iPhone 11 Pro Max originally came out back in 2019, and on the front side of this particular phone, it's going to be giving you a 6.5-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And the thing to remember about this type of device is that for the most part, I do think it's still going to be a decent panel. It's going to be 60 Hz, which I think is, good for the most part. It's going to be giving you, I guess, like around 1000 nits of peak brightness or 1200, which isn't really that bright in today's standards. But the biggest problem I have with this phone is the 60 Hz display. I feel like if you're going to go through and pick up a phone in today's standpoint, you're going to have to buy a phone that's going to be giving you 120 Hz and 60 Hz, even like that's on the iPhone 16e. It just feels like so outdated now. So the iPhone 11 Pro Max is going to feel a bit outdated in that standpoint. It's also still giving you the notch and pretty thick bezels when compared to a lot of other phones, nowadays. With the iPhone 17 Pro, this phone is going to be giving you a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this one's going to be giving you a ProMotion display, 120 Hz. It's going to be a very good type of panel for the most part from that standpoint, which is awesome. It's going to be giving you an always-on display and a dynamic island display as well. So that type of phone does give you the highest likelihood of giving you a way better experience and a way better capability in almost every single way. And I feel like for me personally, that is going to be a very nice thing going on for this type of device. So if I'm in the market and I'm going to go through and pick up a device, that right there would be a nice thing to keep in mind there as well. Because you end up getting better type of capability, better type of everything across the board. And I would probably tell you that is something that I personally do like having if I'm going to go through and pick up a device. Now, you are also going to be able to still maintain their charging ports at the bottom, but the iPhone 11 Pro Max's charging port is going to be about, it's going to be Lightning, where the iPhone 17 Pro is going to be USB Type-C. So if you're wanting the type of, device that is going to be giving you slightly better experience, I would probably imagine something like the iPhone 17 Pro could be the one that might be giving you better type of capability from that side as well. Because if you're trying to get the phone that is going to be giving you a better type of charging port, the iPhone 17 Pro is going to be the one for you. On the backside, they both feel fairly premium. The iPhone 17 Pro is going to basically give you, frosted glass back. Same thing as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is always nice to have. I love being able to go through and get that type of capability. You're also going to be able to still go through and still maintain things like triple camera setups on both, LiDAR sensor on the iPhone 17 Pro. You're going to be getting MagSafe capability on the iPhone 17 Pro. The 11 Pro Max doesn't have it. And you're also going to be getting reverse wire charging on the iPhone 17 Pro, where the iPhone 11 Pro Max also still does not have. So keep those things in mind. If you're going to go through and pick up these types of devices, it is going to be a little bit of a downside for the most part on the 11 Pro Max, because it is going to feel like a significantly different type of device when it comes down to it. So from that side, that covers it up there. From the price tag standpoint, this is also going to be another big thing. The iPhone 17 Pro right now costs about $1,100, where the iPhone 11 Pro Max basically is going to go through and cost you probably $200 barely, if that. So that phone is going to be significantly cheaper. And if you're trying to get the phone that is going to cost, significantly cheaper from that standpoint, then that is the phone that I'd recommend most people to probably, buy if you want a super cheap phone. But keep in mind, cheaper doesn't always mean better. And there's a lot of phones in between that are also very good as well. In terms of cameras, again, there's going to be no competition here. The iPhone 11 Pro Max is basically going to be giving you a triple camera setup, all 12 megapixel sensors, 4K at 60 on the front and the back, which isn't too bad. But the iPhone 17 Pro is basically going to be giving you that triple camera setup as well. All 48 megapixel sensors, 4K at 120 on the backside, which is awesome. You're getting 8x zoom on the iPhone 17 Pro, where the iPhone 11 Pro Max is giving you 2x zoom. So that right there is also going to be a massive difference. If you're trying to get the phone that's going to be giving you a better type of capability from that standpoint as well, then something like the iPhone 11 Pro Max, it's just not going to be that great anymore, right? It's going to be okay. But if you're trying to get the phone that is going to be better, then you're going to have to go for something like an iPhone 17 Pro. But like I said, there's a lot of phones in between that are also very good as well. In terms of software longevity, both these phones are still supported with software as of this point. So they're both going to be still giving you software updates. They're still both going to be giving you very good updates for the most part. But if you are wanting the phone that is going to be lasting for a longer period of time, once again, something like the iPhone 17 Pro is going to be the one that's going to be lasting significantly longer. So that's something that I like a lot. You know, if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, something like the iPhone 17 Pro makes a lot more sense. And if I'm about to go through and buy a phone, then that's the one that I personally would recommend buying, but like I said, if you want to buy an iPhone 15 Pro, I mean, those phones are still supported with software. The 16 Pro, even the 13 Pro would still be a pretty good upgrade coming from the iPhone 11 Pro Max from a software experience standpoint. So that right there, I think, is another really big thing to keep in mind there for the most part as well. And finally, when it comes down to the performance, this is another one of those big key takeaways. The iPhone 17 Pro, this one is going to be giving you an Apple A19 Pro chipset inside of it with 12 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 11 Pro Max is giving you the Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So from that side too, if you're trying to, once again, get the phone that is going to be giving you better type of capability from that side, I would look at something like an iPhone 17 Pro as probably giving you a better type of experience in my personal opinion. So that one's going to be giving you very good type of capability, a very good type of quality, and with something like an iPhone 17 Pro, that is a device that I think is going to hold up very well in almost every single way. So the 17 Pro's performance is going to be top tier. It's going to give you such a good type of capability. And like I said before, like if I'm about to go through and pick up a device, that's the one that I'd probably recommend more people to probably buy than something like an iPhone 11 Pro Max, obviously. But with that being said, I also think if you're about to go through and buy a phone, there's a lot of phones in between these two that I would also recommend still buying. So kind of keep that in mind. I look at phones like an iPhone, 11 Pro Max, and I think in some ways they're still worth buying, but for a vast majority of people, it just doesn't really make that much sense anymore because they are significantly older than a lot of other competition. So I would probably say if you currently have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and if you're okay with it, then I would recommend just keeping it if you want to, but I would recommend going through and upgrading soon. But you don't have to go and upgrade to an iPhone 17 Pro. I think if you're looking at these phones, if you have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, going up to something like an iPhone 13 Pro or 13 Pro Max is also a pretty good upgrade coming from the iPhone 11 Pro Max. If you can go for 14 Pro Max, then that'd be, even better. But if you can go for an iPhone 15 Pro, that type of phone, I think is going to be giving you a very good type of experience. And that is one that I think from a price per dollar standpoint probably makes the most amount of sense. I feel like that type of device is very good. That's the one I'd probably recommend more people to buy. And if I'm in the market and I'm about to go through and pick up a phone, the 17 Pro is the one I'd probably recommend more people to go ahead and buy than something like an iPhone, 11 Pro Max. So kind of keep that in mind, but when it comes down to it, that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.